Hello students, welcome back to the channel. I am Sandhya Kumari working as a Obs and Gynae specialized nursing tutor in Metro College of Health Sciences and Research. So in today's video we will deal with fetal skull. So as you can see here, I am having fetal skull in my hand. Okay, so we will deal with this topic today, and the content we will cover in today's topic is gonna be reasons of the fetal skull. Reasons, I will show you the reasons, bones, sutures and fontanelles. Okay, as usual the diameters we will cover in the next video. Okay, so let's get into the video. So first of all, let's talk about what is fetal head. Okay, so fetal head is a large in relation to the fetal body as compared with the adult. Okay, so it's a large portion if we compare with the adult. So fetal skull, fetal head is larger than the adult one. Okay, next point is adaptation between the fetal skull and the pelvis is really necessary to allow the head to pass through the birth canal at the time of the labor, at the time of the delivery without any complication. Okay, so now I'll give you a little demo. So as you can see in this is the uterus, this is the fetus, and this is a lie, longitudinal lie is there, and the presentation is vertex. Okay, and outside of the uterus there will be female pelvis. Okay, so there should be a well adaptation between fetal head and female pelvis to allow the fetal head to pass through the vagina very well. Okay, so which helps in smooth labor process. So first of all, let's talk about the bones of the fetal skull. So fetal skull consisting of two frontal bones, two parietal bones, one occipital bone, and at the lateral sides two temporal bones. Okay, so first of all let's have a look on the frontal bones. So frontal bones forms a forehead or sinciput. There is a center present in both of the bones which consisting of ossification center which is called frontal eminence. Okay, and at the posterior side or superiorly there are two parietal bones. Okay, and there is a center present over here which consisting of ossification center which is called parietal eminence. Okay, and at the posterior side of the fetal skull there is the occipital bone which forms the back of the fetal skull, which is consisting of an opening like this which is called foramen magnum. Okay, through which the spinal cord runs, which is connected with the brain. Okay, so now moving to the lateral sides of the fetal skull, there are, as you can see, flat bones on each side. These bones are called temporal bones. Okay, so we are having two frontal bones, two parietal bones, one occipital bone, and either sides we are having two temporal bones. Okay, so it was all over the bones of the fetal skull. Now okay, so now let's talk about the suture of the fetal skull. So sutures are when two bones come closer, there will be a suture present. Okay, so as you can see here, between two frontal bone there will be a suture present over here which is called frontal suture, which is also called metopic suture. Okay, this is the frontal or metopic suture, and in between two parietal bone there will be a sagittal suture. Okay, which is also called longitudinal suture. Okay, and in between two frontal and parietal bones there will be a suture present which is called coronal suture. Okay, which lies at the further point of the temple. Okay, this is your coronal suture. Okay, and at the back of the fetal skull in between two parietal bones and occipital bone there will be a suture present over here which is called lambdoidal suture. Okay, this is your lambdoidal suture. Okay, and at the back and at the lateral side of the fetal skull there will be a suture present over here which is called squamous suture. This is squamous suture which lies between parietal bone and temporal bone. This is the squamous suture, and another side also is the same. This is squamous suture lies between parietal bone and temporal bone. So this is squamous suture. Okay, so it was all over the sutures of the fetal skull. Now moving to the fontanelles of the fetal skull. Okay, so now coming to the fontanelles of the fetal skull. So there are specifically 6 fontanelles in the fetal skull, but out of them only 2 have got the obstetrical significance. Okay, so these are the fontanelles here. So as you can see here, this pink one, this is called anterior fontanelle, and posteriorly this is posterior fontanelle. Okay, so first of all let's talk about the anterior fontanelle. Okay, so anterior fontanelle is also called brecma, which is bounded by anteriorly frontal suture, laterally by coronal sutures, and posteriorly by sagittal sutures. Okay, and as you can see, the shape of this is looking like a diamond or kite shape. So this is diamond in shape, and it gets closed at the age of 18 months in the baby. Okay, now coming to the posterior fontanelle. So as you can see, this is triangle in shape, and it is bounded by laterally lambdoidal sutures and anteriorly by sagittal suture. Okay, and it's looking like a Greek letter lambda. So this is called lambda, and this is your bregma. Okay, so this is bregma fontanelle, and this is the second fontanelle, which is called lambda. Okay, so it was all about the fontanelles of the fetal skull. Now moving to the regions in fetal skull. Okay, so now talking about the regions of the fetal skull. So as you can see, this is the head of the fetus, this is the cephalic presentation. Okay, so in the cephalic presentation there will be three kind of presenting part which has the relation with the maternal pelvis. Okay, so I'll just give you all the presentations one by one. Now I'll give you a little demo of the relation between the fetal skull and the maternal pelvis. Okay, so now when the head is fully flashed, so in that condition the presenting part will be vertex. Okay, so like this, when the head of the baby is fully flashed, then the presenting part will be vertex. Okay, so as you can see, this is the presenting part, so this is your vertex. Okay, so this is your vertex, which is round in shape, which is bounded by anteriorly bregma or coronal sutures, laterally by parietal eminence, and posteriorly by lambda. Okay, so now coming to another relation, when the head is partially extended, then the presenting part will be brow presentation. Okay, so this is brow presentation. As you can see, brow presenting part extends from posteriorly by bregma or anterior fontanelle, laterally by coronal sutures, and anteriorly by supraorbital ridges, and at the mid between supraorbital ridges the glabella. Okay, so this is the brow presentation. Okay, this is your brow presentation. In the third presenting part, when the head is completely extended, then in that condition the presenting part will be face. Okay, so like this is your face presentation. Okay, so in the face presentation, the presenting part extends from the supraorbital ridges and the glabella to the mentum. Okay, or the base of the fetal skull. Okay, so it extends from the supraorbital ridges and glabella to the mentum. So it was all about the regions and presenting parts of the fetal skull. Okay, so it was all over the fetal skull. So let's summarize the topic. So in today's video we have covered the bones of the fetal skull, the sutures, fontanelles, and the regions of the fetal skull. Okay, so if you find this video really informative and helpful to you all to understand what this fetal skull, so please hit the like to this one, and also if you didn't subscribe my channel here, so you can subscribe my channel by clicking on the subscribe button to get all the notifications, all the updated notification of my videos, of my upcoming videos. And I'll see you in the next one with a new topic. Till then, goodbye and take care. Bye.